And good evening to you. Thank you for staying with TV3. This is News 360 coming to you live from our studio here at the Disanwe in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu-Date.
And I'm Aisha Yakubu Khalid. Coming up this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Hashtag say no to Galamsey protesters vow to continue demonstration despite arrest of some members by police.
Also coming up, Mortuary Workers Association threatens strike over poor working conditions. We'll be looking at the implications if they do go on strike.
Main opposition National Democratic Congress to meet civil society organizations, diplomats over what it says are discrepancies in the 2024 Provisional Voters Register.
And later in the bulletin, we will explore the opportunities in nutmeg farming amid high import of the spice as demand increases.
And in international news, severe flooding in Chad since July has claimed 503 lives and affected around 1.7 million people.
We have details of these stories and more. We'll be happy to hear from you as the bulletin rolls on. Be part of the show on our various social media networks.
We're starting off with day 2 of the Say No to Galamsey demonstration. Members of Democracy Hub say they are not perturbed after the police arrested some of their members on Sunday morning. The police administration has also reaffirmed its commitment to ensure that the protesters do not block the roads, impeding movement. My colleague Joseph Armstrong Goldalube and Joyce Linenum have been monitoring the protest and have filed this report.
The first day of the Stop the Galamsey protests was successful because the demonstrators managed to have their way by blocking this road, preventing the free flow of vehicles. Unfortunately, on the second day, things have not gone well as the protesters have been picked up by the police service. Currently, the MTTD has been brought on location to ensure the free movement of vehicles.
The police are arresting them.
In a tense standoff between Democracy Hub protesters and the Ghana Police Service, some demonstrators were arrested early Sunday morning for allegedly attempting to block major roads in the vicinity of the 37 military hospital runabout.
They did not give me a statement. I have not seen any statement. I have not seen any statement.
According to the police, the arrest was as a result of the protesters' attempt to block roads leading to the 37 runabout.
We are here to maintain security, law and order, and we'll make sure we do that.
After the arrest, the Motor Traffic and Transport Unit was deployed to ensure the flow of traffic. These are the National Formed Police Units. They've been stationed here to ensure this road is not blocked, as was done on the first day of the Stop the Galamsey protests. Anybody that attempts to block this road will be picked up according to the police hierarchy. Hours later, some protesters who had escaped arrest returned to the scene. This time, they stood at one corner, waiting for more support. Despite the arrest, members of Democracy Hub says they are unperturbed and have vowed to continue their demonstration, which seeks to address various national concerns. They told TV3 that although they feel intimidated by the number of police officers, they will not give up.
For us, we are not going to give. We are just here to alert them until they listen to us.
Are you scared that any of you could be picked up? Are you scared?
For what reason? If you are scared, we'll be gone.
But do you think your message has been sent across?
The message has been sent.
The message has been sent.
Yes, that's why they are here to intimidate us. Are you sure? Because they know a greater number would have showed up. Yes, that one. So what they did was an intimidation tactic.
The police administration continues to keep hundreds of their officers in uniform at the protest site, while keeping some critical routes leading to the Flagstaff House closed to traffic as of 5 p.m. The protesters say this has contributed to the low numbers recorded on the first 2 days of the protest. As the situation remains fluid, protesters and police are locked in a delicate balance, while Democracy Hub members are determined to keep their movement alive. The police have vowed to maintain law and order, setting the stage for what could be a long standoff if no resolutions are reached soon. The protesters say they are, however, not intimidated by the number of police officers that the Ghana Police Service has brought on the streets. For them, they will continue to protest and fight for the rights of Ghanaians. Joseph Armstrong, Gold Alubwe, TV3, Accra.
You want to kill us? You want to kill us?
Right, so that's how earlier today the protesters and the police debacle played out. Let's get what's happening this very moment. We know that some members of the Democracy Hub have voiced their discontent with the behavior of the Ghana Police Service. So let's listen to them, then we'll cross over briefly to speak to Gold Armstrong, who has been monitoring this particular development for us.
We condemn in the strongest terms this blatant attempt to weaponize the police force against the people of Ghana. The use of force against unarmed protesters goes against the principles of democracy and respect for human rights that our nation claims to uphold. The decision to escalate violence against peaceful demonstrators is not only a violation of our constitutional freedoms, but also an affront to the democratic values upon which our nation was built.
The police made their own recommendations, and we offered a counter recommendation because this place, for example, the LWAC place that they are recommending to us, doesn't meet in value the target that we're looking at, which is the Revolutionary Square. Let me take this opportunity to clarify why we are seeking to get to the Revolutionary Square. What we are demanding is a total transformation of our political system. But we don't want to go the violent way. We are civil enough to engage, for which reason we are taking the path of these pickets.
Right, let's get the latest now in terms of what's happening this very moment. Joseph Armstrong, Gold Alubwe, has joined us via Zoom. Joseph, good evening to you. Where exactly are you stationed now, and what else can you report? Hello, Armstrong. Good evening. If you can hear me, I'm asking that where exactly are you positioned now, and what can you tell us regarding the latest event of the Democracy Hub demonstration?
Currently, as it stands right now, it appears that the demonstrators will not come.
Right, so Joseph Gold Armstrong Alubwe is a man who's been following this Democracy Hub demonstration. It started yesterday. Earlier today, there seemed to have been some chaos that broke out between the protesters and the police service. It is actually going to end tomorrow. We'll give you an update of what the plans are ahead of tomorrow. But as we speak, we are told that there seemed to be some relative calm compared to what happened earlier in the day. Armstrong, yes, you are telling us where you are and what's going on this moment.
Martin, so as it stands right now, it appears the demonstrators have all run from this place because around 4 p.m., another arrest was embarked upon by the Ghana Police Service. Early today, about 15 of them or so were told were picked up. We're all here with witnesses, and then they all spread. Later, around 4 p.m., they had the courage to reassemble again. Unfortunately, the police went after them again. This time around, they did not do anything wrong. They were standing at one corner, as I reported earlier in the story, but the police went after them and picked them up. So as it stands right now, the only people you can see here are the police. You could see them sitting right behind their barricade. So even though the demonstrators are not here, the police are still here in their numbers with their barricade preventing the flow of traffic in front of the 37 military hospital heading towards the Flagstaff House, through to Sankara down, then entering into Accra Central. So if even you are coming from the airport area, you may have the access into the runabout. But when you get to the 37 runabout, you have the option of either going towards Bema Camp or heading towards Kaukudi, or you're going back to the airport area. So as it stands right now, the road leading to Flagstaff House and then Kanda area there still remains standstill or is closed to traffic completely. The only people you can see here are the Ghana Police Service in their numbers. Martin.
Right. So have we been able to establish why the police picked up the protesters or the demonstrators when you indicated that they were just standing together in a group, then there was a swoop? What exactly is the reason behind this arrest?
So first of all, the police did say that the agreement they had with the protesters is for them not to come to the 37 runabout area. 7 locations were proposed to them, and the 37 runabout is not part of the 7 places that were proposed to the protesters, but they refused, saying they want to go to the Flagstaff House. So give us a chance, we march from this place to the Flagstaff House, or allow us to go to the Revolutionary Square, where the place is calling off. They will not impede traffic, they will not cause any traffic. The police will have enough men to protect them at where they are, but the police will not listen to them. Hence, they will come to the 37 roundabout here to protest. Yesterday, they did it. They were successful. Unfortunately, they blocked the road, and that could have led to the police not agreeing for them to do same on the second day. And on the second day, the first people that were picked up, it's alleged that they tried blocking the road again for the second time, and this time around, the police already at night were told, caution them not to try even coming here in the first place, not for them to even come and block the road. They gave a deaf ear to it. They came to the 37 area, and then allegedly it was said they were going to block the road again, and which is why the foreign police forces went after them and picked them up. Later, around 4 p.m., they came back again. This time around, these other guys I saw were at one corner. And I even spoke to them earlier, but for whatever reason, they were also picked up as it stands right now, Martin.
Armstrong, thank you for that report, and we will definitely be keeping very close eyes on what's happening. We also are unable to tell where those who've been arrested are currently. We just know that they are with the police, but their specific whereabouts are unknown. And this demonstration has caused quite some traffic. We'll update you, especially as tomorrow is the third and last day of this demonstration.
This is your election command center. Let's turn our attention to some politics now. Presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has urged Ghanaians to give him a promotion to become the president in the upcoming general elections. Dr. Bawumia, who was speaking at the palace of Nutmeg Traditional Council in the Aguna West Municipality of the Central Region, touted his achievements.
Presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, believes he has worked hard as vice president, comparing his achievement over the past 8 years to those of previous vice presidents. He appealed to Ghanaians to vote for him in this year's election.
Vice President,
if you ask me what I did as Vice President in office, I will be able to tell you what I did.
Zongo Development Fund, Ghana card issuance, the digital address,
But if you ask the former President John Dramani Mahama what he did in office as Vice President, he won't be able to tell you anything.
Paramount Chief of the Nutmeg Traditional Council, Okofo Okatachi Nyaku Eku X, called for the creation of a district in Aguna Central to promote development in the area.
Remind the president of the promises he made to us years ago. You were with him and is representing him now.
Still in the New Patriotic Party, the running mate to Dr. Bawumia in the person of Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh is proposing that all political parties sign a commitment pact against illegal mining, locally referred to as Galamsey. He was speaking at the 57th National Union of Ghana Students, NUG's Delegates Congress in Kumasi.
One of the most topical conversations as we head into the 2024 elections, whether you like it or not. The preacher man said it, or one of the speakers said it. It's Galamsey. Nooks, we should hear from Nooks. You must have an enlightened position on it. I realize that lately, union leaders have come on board, CSOs have come on board, Nooks should not stay. But let us publicly, just like we do a peace agreement here during elections, let all the political parties come up and sign that we all don't want Galamsey, so that nobody can go and take advantage anywhere else. So that one person will not come and sign, President, I've signed. Then the person who wants to take the president out of the office goes around the country and says, hey, the big job in
Away from the NPP, let's go to the NDC, and the National Democratic Congress is set to hold a meeting with civil society organizations, diplomats and other stakeholders to address its concerns about alleged discrepancies in Ghana's voters' register. The meeting comes in the wake of growing concerns by the party regarding the integrity of the electoral process ahead of the upcoming elections. The party's Director of Elections and IT, Dr. Edward Omane Boama, in a Facebook post on Sunday, September 22, announced the meeting will take place on Monday, September 23. Let's go on to Zoom now and speak with Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, who is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Thank you for joining us here on News 360.
Good evening. Let me say good evening to your cherished viewers. Yeah.
Now, the deadline the NDC gave to the EC expires on Tuesday, which is September 24. Have you received any official communication from the Commission yet?
Well, they wrote back to us telling us that they have received our petition and then they are studying it and they'll they'll respond appropriately. As we speak now, we haven't gotten any response from them yet. Hence, we are going ahead with our plan. Tomorrow, as you indicated, my boss announced it. Tomorrow, 4 p.m., we are having a meeting with civil society organizations, diplomats in Ghana, as well as managers of media houses and journalists. We are also inviting religious leaders to come and participate. In fact, we are going to have a forum with them, and we'll present to them detailed discrepancies that we have uncovered in the provisional register as exhibited by the Electoral Commission and as given to us. We will make it public for them to see and then to appreciate the enormity of the issues, why we are calling for a forensic audit.
And you believe that the meeting with these stakeholders will help you with what you intend to gain?
Well, the issue is all about the place saying that we have not presented to them any evidence. We have not given them what we promised giving them. We know that we have given them enough leads. We have given them enough evidence to go into their system. And they've also agreed to that, yes, actually there are problems with their register. Their IT system is compromised. They themselves agree to that. And so I don't see why they are running away from this forensic audit that we are calling for. We just want the civil society to have an appreciation of what we're talking about. It's not that we're just making noise around, but we have evidence. We have credible evidence that warrant that there's the need to have a forensic audit of the register.
Right. Grateful for your time this evening. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC.
Still in the NDC, its flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, has pledged to complete the abandoned oil and gas enclave roads, which were actually initiated in the Nzima areas. This promise is especially significant given the area's crucial role in Ghana's oil industry.
I remember in government, because of hosting the oil infrastructure here in Nzimaland, Professor Mills promised that we're going to invest some of the oil revenue to improve the social and economic infrastructure in Nzima area. And so we came with the oil and gas enclave roads, and we started to tackle all the roads in the Nzima area. It is just unfortunate that we did not finish before we left office, and a new government took over. And my understanding is that most of those roads have been abandoned, and the whole oil and gas enclave road project has been stopped. Nana Awolaimo, I want to assure you that a new NDC government that will come in January next year will resume the oil and gas enclave roads so that you can have roads that are befitting.
Let's do Constituency Watch now. The campaign rhetoric has reached fever pitch in the Nsawam-Adoejiri constituency as the residents are leaving no stone unturned to scrutinize every political promise. Ekia Oforiwa-Dakun reports that the constituents are weighing their options between the dominant political parties while they prepare to make their voices heard at the polls in December.
Upon entering the constituency, the atmosphere of the campaign is on a high note. Obviously, the stage is set for a fierce battle ahead of the December 7 election. However, there is more to what the constituents are looking for than just promises during campaigns. From the bustling marketplaces to the neighborhoods, the sense of readiness is much anticipated.
About to my ready. No way, no size. Me best am bobi biedi, but I feel way there. You best same. Eh about to Mr. Bikokromoti, medeto wankasa.
I am patriotic, so I won't spare my vote in this upcoming election.
Gradually, the battle for the presidency and parliamentary positions is shaping up to be a clash of ideologies, personalities, and policies in this constituency.
As far as the road is concerned and the infrastructure development is concerned, we are doing it. By December, the Park Road and any other roads will be okay. MPP is doing Yoma's job, so we need community help. Community, I'm talking about some people that we have an MP who is doing a marvelous job, and we are pleading with them that they should side with us. Everything will be all right.
Honorable Selom is the one who is going to. He's the game changer. And as we are bringing 24-hour economy to the system, NDC, we have proved that we can bring results. Looking at what our late MP did for Nsawam-Adoejiri.
While some residents cited economic growth and infrastructure development as key factors, others emphasized the need for a fresh approach to governance.
Our MP Anodompre is doing a lot for us in this constituency. Most of our roads are being worked on, and the progress is evident.
Pavement in the other end where Fidogura Nsumia Chintonina Omoye.
For us traders, it has become so difficult to do business. Most of us can't even buy products to sell.
Interested asshole.
The Nsawam-Adoejiri constituency is expected to be a highly contested seat in the upcoming general election, with the Member of Parliament for Nsawam-Adoejiri, Frank Anodompre, hoping to retain her seat as the NPP parliamentary candidate and Philbert Fume Amenope as the NDC parliamentary candidate. Will the NPP's promise of continuity and progress be enough to secure another term, or will the NDC's message of change and reform resonate with voters? Ekia Oforiwa-Dakun, TV3 News in Nsawam-Adoejiri.
Away from politics, President Akufo-Addo has assented to the Affirmative Action Bill 2024 into law. Parliament on July 30 passed the bill after several failed attempts by successive parliaments and administrations. The passage of the bill, now law, is considered as a landmark legislative effort in Ghana's quest to achieving gender parity across all sectors of society while encouraging diversity at all levels. The bill sets specific targets for gender representation, aiming for 30% by 2026, 35% by 2028, and 50% by 2030. Go on to zoom now and bring in Michael Akagbo. He is a senior programs officer, human rights and social inclusion at CDD Ghana. Mr. Akagbo, thank you for your time this evening. Now, it is one thing to pass a law and another to implement it. How do you think we can make progress from here? Mr. Akagbo, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right, go ahead.
Thank you for having me on your show this evening. Good evening to all listeners. Well, yes, I literally would say that yes, it's one thing to pass the law, it's another thing to implement. And there is some reason why we say that. Looking back on our history with implementation, when we pass laws, yes, it causes some stupidity on our side to say that we will have to be more aggressive in pushing this given we know that and as we all agree that the Affirmative Action Bill seeks to create parity and equity among the genders, and we have all acknowledged that certain categories or certain genders have been disadvantaged or disproportionately advantaged over the years. It's very important that we put in the effort to not rest on our oars in this moment, but rather we need to keep pushing to make this bill, to make this law become a reality.
Now, we're asking for a 30% gender representation by 2026 and 50% by 2030. Does this seem a bit ambitious to you?
Well, I think it's a bit conservative on the high side in terms of the 30%. I mean, it is a shame that we can't speak to a 30% of women representation in governance and decision-making in this country, the first country to achieve independence in Africa. It is quite a shame. So I find the 30% to be conservative. We should have been aiming higher. But we understand that the challenges that we face, we understand the reorientation that we need, forecasting that we need to do to change minds, into this new mindset of agreeing that all sexes, all genders should have equal access to decision-making in the polity. So yes, I think it's very conservative, but I think that it is a good start for us to push for what we seek, a 50% parity come 2030.
Thank you for those words, Mr. Akagbo. Hopefully we are able to achieve this and even aim higher, just like you have mentioned. Mr. Michael Akagbo is a Senior Programs Officer, Human Rights and Social Inclusion at CDD.
In more news tonight, members of the Mortuary Workers Association have served notice of embarking on an industrial action starting Thursday, the 26th of September 2024. This action is necessitated by several pressing demands that the workers say the government has ignored. Richard Kofi Jordan is the General Secretary of the Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana, MOWAG.
Remember last year, close December, we threatened similar strike on these very issues. And then we also have issues with the coronavirus bonus that the president promised in 2020, all dating back. And we think that the employer has not been very, very, very serious with issues with mortuary workers. And for that matter, for these reasons, we think that the time has come that for once, with all the threats that we issued, we should implement that right now by closing down all mortuaries. We are going to implement, you give us time. The National Labour Commission last year issued a directive. It has already issued so many directives in terms of this implementation. The last one was November last year, giving them deadline up to 29th of December. And when we are getting to October, almost a year, in February, We wrote a letter reminding the employer. No reply came from any quarter. So we think that they want to see us close mortuaries. They want to see Ghanaians go to hell for them to understand that it is not out of, what we are getting to, we can't complain. We can't come for negotiation. Negotiation has been done. So we expect them to just pay, do the needful, and then workers will not even attempt to go to the strike at all. That is why we have served notice that the law requires. So we are waiting to Wednesday. If nothing is done or payment is not done or whatever we are demanding for is not met, then you should expect that Thursday all mortuaries will.
This is still News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. When we return, we'll be taking a quick flight to the United States of America, where the 79th UN General Assembly has kicked off. Ghana's president is there. We'll get updates of what's happening there in a jiffy. Stay with us.
One bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. One bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Wait, your tomato mix. Wouldn't so one on pass. Allow what tomato flavor no. No color changing like traffic lights. Come on.
Tasty Tom dear. It will surely give you value for money. This steak, a little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup.
Taste not so dear. On point. Flavor new.
And it doesn't color your meat or chicken. I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
We are beginning the 276 tour on the very day that Kwame Nkrumah was born. Because today, Ghana is born again. And as we start this 276, is the beginning of a new journey to build this country all over again. Only left with 2 months, 3 days, and 12 hours. And right now we are number 12. As I appear on the ballot, the youth now, you have a leader. The journey begins from here. 276 constituencies, 6,400 electoral areas, 34,000 polling stations. We will visit everyone and we will stop the poverty in this country. Let's cut this rope together in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. This is the beginning of a new revolution. We have woken up. We are changing the narrative of politics. We are building our nation again. We have the 12 pillars. We have the 12 ministers. We are going to turn it all around again.
We all have that one friend, always by your side for the big moments and ready to assist. He's always got his eyes on the prize and his heart in the right place. Where would we be without our BFF? This season, enjoy all 380 Premier League games with your BFF GoTV. Upgrade or reconnect to GoTV Super Plus for the discounted price of just 265 cedis today. GoTV, love it.
You dey sleep? Dance man. Madina.
Sentuntum say wunna ma odeju me ma won sa.
Efrema Bema Daniel Ba.
Maunsa.
Sentun to my Mwabwasumuda Maunsa. That shall not slap. Having black mosquito quail. Common tontom, na empum visie bebre, na emma wo mowa, na emma wo nhwam, na ehwam.
Having insecticide spray, sham, na sansu kumwa wotu ene omo wia nyina. Now having naphthalene balls and having perfumed insect repellent no, kumwa wia, na senja hwa wechiri.
Having black mosquito quail, empum visie bebre, and say wo hene so. Ehwam kama, no, na jumo size no. Don't shred to me no.
And a heaven spray, heaven naphthalene balls, ni perfumed insect repellent no. Kumwa mutu, na wa nam from nothing just shanwechi.
Heaven dear, bakope. Heaven dear, bakope. Heaven dear, bakope. Heaven dear, bakope.
FDA aji edrede kratoyatum.
Welcome back to News 360. Let's catch a flight to the USA, where more than 120 world leaders have arrived in New York for the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. The annual event comes at a time when the UN itself is battling for relevancy while attempting to stem multiple wars around the world. My colleague Sani Abdulrahman is in New York for the event and has filed his report.
It's that time of the year when world leaders gather in New York to address the UN General Assembly. Last year, discussions largely centered on conflicts that flared up in Europe and many parts of the world. This year, the situation has only worsened. Some experts see no chance of meaningful discussions towards ending the conflict immediately, but the UN is hopeful of making some progress.
I have one overriding message today. An appeal to member states for a spirit of compromise. Show the world what we can do when we work together.
Global leaders face a tall list of challenges this year: rising food prices, the war in Ukraine, Sudan, Yemen, and now Gaza, which continue to claim tens of thousands of lives. The UN says it will need some crucial reforms in order to help address some of these challenges. But a number of diplomats say the political will to adequately resource the UN in order to fight some of these global challenges is just not there.
Top on the agenda this year for Africa is to advocate for debt reliefs, seek support to help tackle the worsening insurgency in the region, and of course the devastating impact of climate change.
It's important for African leaders to underscore the need for global partnership to counter terrorism. Indeed, the situation in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger is getting out of control, and it appears as if the withdrawal of French and other forces means us washing our hands off these countries. And I must say, it is having serious security ramifications on other countries within.
This year's UN General Assembly will be the last for many heads of state, including US President Joe Biden and Ghana's Akufo-Addo, as they exit office. Such moments have often resulted in explosive rhetorics during the general debates. However, some diplomats have warned this could add up to the already tensed global atmosphere. Sani Abdulrahman, TV3 News, United Nations.
Let's engage Sani Abdulrahman for some further expectations of the UN General Assembly. Sani, very good evening to you from Ghana. I'm sure it's somewhere at midday in the US, New York specifically. Paint a picture for us what the major expectations are of the 79th UN General Assembly.
Martins, we should not forget the fact that the global economy is still bearing the brunt of the COVID-19 pandemic, and also the Russian-Ukraine war, which have largely driven global prices quite high. And that has been a big problem for advanced economies, especially those who are really bearing the brunt of this situation are countries in the global south. At the UN this year, the attention would again be on the multiple conflicts that we've seen around the world. despite the fact that some experts also want the UN and the global leaders who have gathered here to try and look at some of the other challenges that are undermining socio-economic development around the world. But of course, the geopolitical tension will dominate the conversation. You are aware of the recent or the very latest war that we have seen on the global front, the war in Gaza, which is claiming many lives and which has caused division even here at the United Nations. So if you ask me what would dominate the conversation here, the economy, which has been a problem for many people around the world, security issues, but on the part of African countries that will also be representing the continent here at the General Assembly, they'll be looking at issues of security, they'll be looking at issues of debt relief, which they have been asking. We know President Akufo-Addo will be reiterating calls for reparation, which he has been calling for a while now. We know also he will be calling on some of the powerful nations who are causing divisions here at the UN General Assembly, and that is also affecting the quality of leadership that they are expecting the leading countries here at the UN to offer. So if you ask me largely what has been happening here or what we'll be seeing in the next 1 week, it's about security, it's about global economy, it's about ensuring that poverty around the world is reduced.
Right. Sani Abdulrahman, thank you for that quick update from the UN General Assembly. Certainly we'll be coming back to you in subsequent days when the Ghana delegation do make a statement. Thank you for that report.
Now, let me ask you this. When was the last time you enjoyed the distinct flavor of nutmeg in your meal? Eastern Regional Correspondent Yvonne Ikwe in the following report explores the opportunities in nutmeg farming amid the high import of the spice as demand increases.
Nutmeg cultivation in Ghana is low despite its demand locally and abundant scientific knowledge by the Plants Genetic Resources Research Institute of the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research. Most bakers across the country spend heavily on imported nutmegs to enhance their products' flavor.
As you say, you say park and Pukra 115 cities. So first, 80 cities.
Nutmeg is now expensive. A pack which previously cost 80 cedis is now 115 Ghana cedis. It all contributes to the high cost of bread.
Increase the price and they said also being a big kakra.
First, this small one was 50 pesos, but it's now 1 cedi 50 pesos. 1 cedi 50 pesos.
Annual consumption is estimated between 1,500 and 2,000 metric tons, with a retail price between 113 cedis 50 pesos and 237 cedis 32 pesos per kilogram. A nutmeg-filled gene bank on the Bonso Highway caught our attention. Here, the crop is being conserved by the Plants Genetic Resources Research Institute. Researchers at the institute are optimistic that wider cultivation of nutmeg could significantly cut down imports and make it cheaper for consumers. However, its cultivation by local farmers across the country is yet to be explored on a larger scale. The Plant Genetic Resources Research Institute observes that nutmeg holds the potential to increase revenue for farmers, particularly those engaged in mixed cropping. Its cultivation could also meet local demand for the spice and for pharmaceutical firms.
You plant any other tea crop, you might have to consider the planting of nutmeg as an intercrop or as a sole crop. That will help a lot, because if, let's say, the cuckoo doesn't provide the yield that you wanted, the nutmeg can be a supplementary source of income.
The crop is said to thrive in tropical regions with high humidity and warm temperatures, similar to cocoa, with a 7-year maturation period. With the right support and cultivation strategies, nutmeg could present significant benefits, including the creation of employment opportunities, income generation for farmers, increased foreign exchange earnings, and contribute to Ghana's gross domestic product.
This is News 360. Stay with us here for some sports news.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
new Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
75 days since the last day of last season. We are ready to do it all again. Phil Foden is having the season of his life. Brilliant! Just brilliant! That is quite something!
Watch all the Premier League, La Liga, and Serie A games on DSTV Compact for only 300 CDs a month.
Colgate Herbal is formulated from unique natural herbs to strengthen teeth and keep gums healthy. Try Colgate Herbal, scientifically proven for strong teeth and healthy gums. This advert is FDA approved.
Honey, new sabo! And a pot evaporated milk. Ooh. Tasty and creamy, right? And a pot milk, a well custard one, a fine. Na se wo Tom Brown no rice water muswa nice. Honey trip na baso me the enapa mayonnaise. Na me dey salad no any burger. Fries no so enapa tasty ketchup and a good side. Coffee ni jollof no so me the enapa perfume long green rice. Oh you are one. Don't forget your favorite enapa chocolate milk drink.
Oh, more so.
See, honey, you are sorted.
I'm in control like a pilot on Anapa Airways.
Mama!
Me, you know.
Anapa, I can't stand it.
Just a moment. Anapa,
yeah!
Anapa! Oh, yeah, Jack Macron, no more. It's you cannot guess it there. Harry, you contumre. What okni? Tomato sauce, I want you, baby. And a pasadine for box with salad, yeah. And you stew and a jollofa. Never to one that don't know it though. Or to that. And a bowl of ya. Or made to bunny a doua. You want a pasta sauce? Check for you, sir. Oh, more tasty. And a pop baked beans for the breakfast. Na so a salad, oh, she and a patuna. We can puffle. Na so a salad, oh, taste good. And a pan on dairy creamer. 4 box we so can see oats, na cremitino. You and a spaghetti. Talia papa B. Mansunin sijadu re. Na for and a spaghetti no gum. Who and a patalia no I ready for what on you with you. So I na pa no so kodia.
Inkrati FDA appendo.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Billy Shen and on to our first story. Asante Kotoko were held to a 1-1 draw by newly promoted Young Apostles in their Ghana Premier League clash on Sunday at the Obuasi Stadium. Young Apostles took the lead through Daniel Lomote, who found the net in the 51st minute. However, Emmanuel Entry came to Kotoko's rescue with a 79th minute equalizer, salvaging a point for the home side. This result means Kotoko failed to secure consecutive wins, leaving them with work to do ahead of their next match against Brecum Chelsea. Now, still on Asante Kotoko, fans attended the game in their numbers and had some mixed reactions after the team dropped 2 points against the newcomers.
So it's a place my offer my the place in the parking city. I'm a new place. Tienya botrema place no mutimi here and timu nkonko moni. The supporters so munya botrema obi anu bofu bia no omra from omodi ababo ase ade. Yeso be so regina na bibia e kema.
I'm disappointed there. That in your first match home match I timu 1-1 sir. First half no set million. That's a chances are there.
If you bojare nearby, if you bojare, we didn't want penny West.
Foreign players na yahunusu wamuka umana. Yani ablo, yani ape pasara nka hasi ko na nka nka abom be 2-3 amaya. Keren kan se obi ani age. Asa me kire se team media. Ento wase. Anya ka se team ni anya. Ento wase na wasi ni ade mo football. Don't say we omo ye new players o bet.
Interesting reactions there from Asante Kotoko fans. Now, here are the results in the Ghana Premier League for match day 3. Aduana FC lost by 2-1 to Nations FC. Kotoko drew 1-1 with Young Apostles. Bibiani Gold Stars defeated Holy Stars by 1-0. Karela drew 1-1 with Accra Lions. And Vision FC drew 1-1 with Legon Cities. Hartlefolk are currently playing against Bechem United at the Legon Sports Stadium, and they are leading by 2-0. Let's move on to the Premier League, where a 10-man Arsenal side held current Premier League champions Manchester City to a 2-2. And Gabriel got the goals for Arsenal, whilst Erling Haaland and John Stones struck for the citizens late on.
What a goal that is! What a way to score for Arsenal for the very first time! Another in-swinger, another lead by Gabriel! 2 goals in 2 weekends for the Brazilian central defense. Grealish. Kovacic. Must be. Manchester City score. John Stones with the touch. The champions never.
Well, that's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Billy Shen, and up next, entertainment.
Entertainment news segment is powered by 3 Entertainment.
Team Ghana triumphed in the much-anticipated Jollof War at the 3FM Afro Connect Festival 3.0, scoring an impressive 276 points. Here's a report by our 3 Entertainment desk.
It was the battle of 7 African countries contesting for the #1 slot at the 3FM Afro Connect Jollof War. The event, which was held at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, brought together representatives from various African countries, art, culture, enthusiasts, and food lovers under one roof to celebrate Africa's culture and diversity.
So this is 3FM Afro Connect 3.0. It's a day filled with Pan-African goodness. It's very exciting, lots to see, lots to enjoy. But of course, it's all about the Jollof
continent through food, art and culture. The anticipation was really high before the event climaxed.
For me, who is going to win the Jollof Wars this year?
So far, I like Ghana. I'm looking for what other countries are bringing in.
But you believe Ghana could take it. What about you, darling?
Senegal.
Senegal! Oh my God. Africa, Africa, Africa. Team Sierra Leone, they're the reigning champions. And of course, they're back again to defend their title. It smells so good right now, but I want to find out what they're doing differently this year.
What is special about our jollof rice is that our jollof rice caters for all age groups. The kids can eat it. A 1-year-old kid can eat our jollof rice because it's soft and tasty. The elderly, 90 years of age without teeth, can still eat our jollof rice.
So of course, Team Ghana is still in the building. They say this year, they're doing things very, very differently.
We are overconfident here. This year, it's all win for Ghana, and we are waiting. We have won already. You can see what is happening here. It's all win.
Right here, country number 2. You can start from the other side.
After hours of cooking experience, the judges had the ultimate verdict to make, and with 276 points, Team Ghana had the big win on the night.
The winner for 2024 3FM Afro Connect is GHR. Ghana!
To Chef Francis, the lead chef for Team Ghana, their mission is to showcase Ghana's vibrant and delicious cuisine with hopes of having Ghanaian jollof featured on international menus.
What's the next move from here?
Yeah, the next move is we are taking Ghana to the world. That is our plan. We are taking the Ghana dishes to the world to know that Ghana, we have the best food. And we want to thank 3FM for giving us a platform to showcase that Ghana jollof is the best everywhere you go. And now Ghana jollof is going to be in Americans menu. It's going to be in the French menu. When you go to French restaurant, you'll see Ghana jollof in their menu. We are trying to make the world know that Ghanaian food are the best to eat, and they are healthy food that they have to choose.
A round of applause for them.
Also, Ghana's Most Beautiful comes your way right after the news. And tonight is the final eviction ahead of the much-anticipated finale. 2 out of the 7 remaining contestants will be evicted, leaving 5 to battle it out for the crown, the car, cash, and of course, the bragging right. Remember to vote for your favorite contestants to enhance their chances of making it to the final. You know, we have Titiaka, Pepra, Ira, Ifriye, Hatie, Makafui, Na Meli. They are the 7 that are going to be on tonight. But who bows out tonight? Stay tuned and find out.
I'm voting for my favorites from my region. All right, let's find out what's happening on the international front.
Severe flooding in Chad has claimed 503 lives and affected around 1.7 million people since July. The UN's Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in Chad says floods have destroyed over 212,000 houses, flooded over 357,000 hectares of fields, and drowned over 69,000 heads of cattle. Chad's Water and Energy Minister Marceline Kanabe Pasali told journalists that all the country's provinces have been hit, warning of more trouble to come. In N'Djamena, Chad's capital is located where the Lagoni and Chari rivers flow into each other. The UN warned in early September of the impact of torrential rains and severe flooding in the wider region, particularly in Chad, calling for the immediate action and funding to tackle climate change. This summer has been the hottest recorded globally since records have been kept, with a slew in record temperatures, heat waves, droughts and severe flooding. Lebanon-based Hezbollah launches 150 rockets into Israel, according to the IDF, in what it said was retaliation for recent attacks targeting it. Hezbollah launched the rockets across the wider and deeper area of northern Israel, with some landing near the city of Haifa. Some reached further than south than in previous strikes and damaged homes. Israel carried out airstrikes on targets in southern Lebanon and said it had destroyed thousands of Hezbollah's rocket launchers. Kenya has pledged to send 600 more police officers to Haiti in the coming weeks to help fight gangs controlling much of the capital, Port-au-Prince, and nearby areas. This would bring the Kenyan contingent, deployed incrementally since June to help the Caribbean nation's beleaguered police force, up to 1,000. During a visit to the country, Kenya's President William Ruto also said he supported turning the current Kenyan-led security mission into a full United Nations peacekeeping operation. A handful of other countries have together pledged at least 1,900 more troops.
And that's it for our package. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Esiedu Date.
And I am Aisha Yakubu Hali. GMB is up next.